a moment, a structuring moment. And this is going to be, I'll take questions, and then this is going to be a transition to handling difficult moments in the red-blue workshop. So I'm going to find minute 33:40. They've done the practice. You'll see them finishing the practice. And then I'm asking what went well, and you're going to see a difficult moment in the skills workshop.
Don't you think that the individuals take this, or we should, as a society, take that marketing approach and try to individuals will come from the self-care, so individuals have this avenue of
But I think that to just do it on screen where you're sending everyone back.
Oops.
All right. First is what went well, either in what you felt you did yourself or your conversation partner did. And what went well?
We broke the rules a little bit, and
We broke the rules a little bit. This is, of course, wonderful for me to hear.
second topic. So when we switch roles, we also switch topics, and we did it last time as well.
So when we switched roles, we switched topics, which we did last time as well. I'm being very calm.
I'm not sure that necessarily that was a good thing to do, but let me tell you what I thought worked with that. I think particularly one of the challenges, if you stick with the same topic, is that there's the possibility to sort of get through the exercise by simply parroting what was said before.
So what do you think about what he's doing here? Yeah, I mean, what's he doing?
Challenging the leader.
Yeah, and he's saying there's a better way to do this exercise.
Yeah, Bill.
And obviously, David, there's not. So he's not responding to the question of what went well. The question was what went well, and I was actually going to go with him when he said we actually didn't follow the rules. If he had then said, and here's what went well, that's fine. You know, I mean, I'm kidding about everybody has to be locked, but so I listened. We switched topics and we switched roles, and then I was waiting for him to say, and then what went well, what we got out of this. But instead, what he's doing is arguing for a better way to do the exercise. You with me on that? Yeah. So let me just finish him out, and then I'll go back to you.
And when you switch topics, you're required to sort of...
When you switch topics, you have this advantage, because otherwise you're just parroting back. So do you see the moment? Yeah. So there's 60 people out there. You saw me look at my watch, you know, trying to stay on time. I want to know what went well, and then I want to, harvest the challenges. And he's telling me not only that they did it differently, which, okay, everybody's free to do what they want, but then he's saying the exercise as designed would lead to parroting back, and that the way they did it was the superior way to do the exercise. So this is a difficult moment, okay? Because he's trying to be nice, he's trying to be gracious. He's a very thoughtful guy. What do you do? Take a moment to say, what would you say next? So before anybody says anything, I'd like you to think about what you do, what you say, or do you just let them roll on? You want to try it? So say it to me. Bill? Yeah.
Yeah, so Bill, I hear you're feeling this, or you're thinking this, to just kind of neutralize it. And then, the question I asked is, just so, like, I know, but what I'm saying is I think it would have been better
I think what Wade did was better, and that's what I'm trying to say.
So I hear that you think it would have been better to do it this way.
Yeah, right, you got it, yeah. So maybe next time you could do it this way. I'm signaling, don't ever try this with me because I'm going to embarrass you. No, but yeah. So what you did there was to say, acknowledge what I was saying, and then go back to the question. Okay, that's one option. That's one option, which is what I did with the guy earlier. So here you, and let me re-ask the question. What else might you do with this?
Yeah, I'm thinking that it may not be obvious to everybody in the room that he's challenging you. So to try to direct it, probably what she did, try to direct it, or maybe minimize it, say, okay, so that's how you did it. What worked well with it?
Okay.
So restate the question.
Okay.
Try to minimize it.
Okay. So that's one approach, and I'm asking, is there a whole different approach?
Well, you could say, okay, this guy's kind of off topic, but he's had a lot of floor time. So rather than trying to drag out of his process, say, well, that's an interesting suggestion. Anyone else have something positive?
Yeah. So I'm not going to give him more airtime. I wanted to move on. So we'll see what I did.
Think on your feet.
So I'm really not, at the moment, I'm happy to talk later about the advantages or disadvantages of the design. I'm really looking for, as you practice the skills, what went well. But I'm happy to talk about that later. Yeah.
So I told him I'd talk about it later. So I'm not, at the moment, I'm not debating the design. I'm wanting to know what went well, and I'm happy to talk to you later. Okay? And he took it okay. So, but it was an authoritative, I'm not doing this. And so the reason I didn't paraphrase, I didn't want to continue the conversation. I didn't want to validate this. That's right. I just wanted to note what he said, which is what you guys did. I noted what he was saying. But then instead of trying to redirect him, because he may not have, the risk was, if the redirect, he would have gone back to his original argument. I just said, I'm not going to do this now, but I'm willing to talk later, as it was. He didn't come up to me later on it, but so yes.
It's a good opportunity to repeat what should be done.
Yes, that's right. Which is what we're doing now is, okay. The most common thing that happens is somebody talks about the challenges, and I say hold that. Because right now we're doing, see, human beings, this goes back to what you were saying, you can even do the brain research. Human beings focus on negatives more than positives most of the time. Okay, so even when you say the positives, they get out the negatives. And so you just gently say, we're gonna do something. So, but that was I think one of the few, there was only one other difficult moment in all the skills workshops I've done. And it was a Red who came in late. And we'd all gone around. He hadn't heard most people why they were there. And I asked him why he was there. He said, I came here to get beat up. And he said it aggressively. So I said, called him by name, and I said, that's not going to happen here. Okay? And then we moved on. But he said it aggressively. He didn't say, I'm afraid to I'm here to get beat up. He said his wife was in the red-blue workshop downstairs. He was here, and I'm here to get beat up. It's sort of like, who's going to come at me first? So I said, that's not going to happen. And so we got into the workshop, and then I paired him with the red. There was mostly blues. Most of the blues come to this, but there were some reds. And after the listening exercise, which I saw he was really engaged, he then said in a more joking way, so I haven't been beat up yet, or I guess I'm waiting to be beat up. And I walked over to him, and I put my arm on his shoulder, and I said, I'll be Andy, I said, Andy, that's not happened, it's not going to happen. I'd like you to let this go. I think I might have said, cut it out. I think I said, cut it out. Because he was grandstanding at that point. Well, I tell you, at the end of the workshop, when I asked people what they're taking with them, he said he had never experienced what he experienced in that room. And he talked about the nasty things that he and his wife had been called in this mostly blue neighborhood. And other people said, that's terrible. Blue said, that's terrible. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. He became a Better Angels fan. Turns out he has a radio show, a shock jock, you know, and he said, here's my card, I'd like to interview guys for the radio show. Okay? But it was a combination of the experience and me being authoritative. That's not going to happen here. And then the second time, he was playing it for laughs. I know he was, because nothing like that happened. And I said, not happening, cut it out. And he did. He did. He's a shock jock guy. He's used to being that way. And I just was authoritative and not taking it personally. And then he did cut it out. And then that was the most powerful personal moment when he shared of any of the skills workshops, when he shared it at the end. He was practically in tears of what this experience was like that was different from what he had experienced from Blues before. But if I had not managed him in some way, I'm not sure he would have felt, because people like that need to be, you know what I mean by managed? Mm-hmm. You know, I don't mean that derisively, but there need to be, so people like that, there's a safety involved, and also for the group. Okay, just like, okay. So, skills workshop, lots of fun, lots of energy. People get a lot out of it. And we think it's one of the ways to get Better Angels going in communities because it's easier to recruit for. And pretty simple to do. The only challenge is to get that exercise down. And I swear it took me 5 or 6 times